What is up,
Yo.
y'all? Back, episode 31, Raw Prospect Podcast. You recognize this guy. It's Mason VORE.
What's up?
We're back to talk more college football. We're going to focus on the Big 10 and Big 12 today. He's got the Michigan State shirt on.
Wrap it.
You head out
I head out next Thursday. For East Lansing.
So a week from today.
Yep.
And I'm going right down the street to Texas. So that's what we're going to talk, Texas and Michigan State. Those will be the focuses. We'll do both conferences, and then we'll talk some NBA news. We'll start with the NBA news. So it came out today that Boogie Cousins,
I saw that, yeah.
DeMarcus Cousins, signed by the Los Angeles Lakers, training in Las Vegas, hurt his knee and went to see a doctor, and after further evaluation, it was found that he has a torn ACL.
Jeez.
So
You're
I want to get your
history?
opinions, because in the past 19 months, so in less than 2 years, he's had a torn quad, a torn Achilles, and a torn ACL. So I'm going to ask you, is this it for Boogie? Is he done?
I don't think so. I mean, he's come back from all the others, and remember he was putting up all-star numbers in New Orleans before he got injured, before and after he got injured. So I think it severely impacts the Lakers in the early season, especially with what LeBron wants to do in terms of minutes and how they manage what their players get. And I think it's going to mess up their planning and their strategy a little, especially with new coach Frank Vogel, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With Jason Kidd's on the staff, right? Okay, yeah. That'll be interesting to figure out how both of them have differing opinions on it. And I was going to ask you, do you think it impacts their long-term position as a contender in the West? I think we all know it's obviously going to affect it early on.
I think the duo of Anthony Davis and LeBron James, as long as they're healthy, will really help to offset it, and it's not as big as it would be.
Yeah, everyone else is auxiliary.
But he was a nice piece, and he was going to come into the season like completely healthy.
Yeah.
Because remember, he missed the first half last year, and he had to slowly get back. Had that one great game in the finals.
Yeah, he bullied Gasol.
Yeah, but now they were hoping to get a fully healthy Boogie Cousins coming into next year, and he was going to be a huge piece for them.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely it's a big hit for the Lakers, but they still have LeBron and Anthony Davis. Both will be top 5 players in the league next year again. Yeah, and they surrounded them with pieces that I think, if put into the right system with Frank Vogel, if he can figure out the right rotation, I think they're right up there with the Clippers, and they still compete for the West. But I just want to mention, crazy, back in 2015, he had a strained right Achilles, a sore back. January 2016, left ankle sprain. March 2017, sprained right ankle. April 2017, sore right Achilles. Last year, January, torn left Achilles. Came back from that. Last year in the playoffs, torn left quadriceps. And then just now, torn ACL.
His right Achilles, when you injure or strain or you have a severe injury to both of your Achilles, that's obviously not going to help you in terms of movement. And something like Boogie, he's prized for being able to be mobile and attack a defense as well as play defense. So I think that's going to hurt him in his career a little.
And people will, so quick to compare this injury to KD. Can KD be the same after his Achilles injury? Can Boogie be the same? I think both of them can. I mean, it's interesting because KD, he plays such a different style of basketball, different physique.
From pretty much everyone.
I mean, he can score in ways that other people just can't. Like, he can just shoot over people. He doesn't really have to be that mobile, and he can still score 25, 30 points a night. But Boogie, it's tougher because he's got a lot of girth. He's a big guy, so he's not able to move as well with the injuries. So it'll be interesting. But as I said, I don't think the Lakers are – I mean, I'm sure they're not happy with what happened, but I don't think it's not
devastating.
Yeah.
It is altering, but it's not condemning. they're not gonna lose out on, I think, really any postseason ranking or spot as of now. Do you still think? Well, I guess I'll just ask. Do you think they're a contender? Do you think they win the West? I'll just ask that question. So essentially, I'm asking: are they better than the Clippers?
I don't think they win the West.
You think the Clippers do?
I mean, you talk the Clippers and the Lakers, but I'm not sleeping on the Nuggets. Like, this is a team that, I mean, they got Jokic, Jamal Murray, and all those young guys are back. And if Porter comes back healthy,
I think that's their X factor because we know what they are. We know they're an extremely good team with all their players. But if Porter comes in and contributes and is even like a Jamal, no, who could you say like?
Jamal Murray, and Malik Beasley coming off the bench.
Paul Millsap. If they have the exact, if they replicate their year, if they just replicate their year, and then I'm trying to see what Kevin Porter. We just don't know what he's going to be. I don't know what to compare him to or see if he could have an impact like Mo Bamba did after his injury this year. In his second year, he had a pretty good year towards that. I believe he got injured, but before he got injured, he was playing really nice, and it's nothing crazy, but you're making an impact. Or another Texas player, Jared Allen. He was very solid for the Nets. I mean, he had a middling year stat-wise, but he was solid for them, and he made an impact. And if Kevin Porter can come and do that with the talent they already have, they can get to the Western Conference Finals. I don't know if they win, but he's not.
I think they well, right now, I would, just because I don't know how in the regular season, right? Once you get LeBron to the playoffs,
it's different.
It's a different ball game. But seeing, the past history with like Cleveland and how they struggled to, maneuver through the first half, I just think I could definitely see Denver having a better record than the Lakers.
I can see them pulling the 2015
season.
Hawks, was it? Where they had the best record, but then they just lost the run.
But if it comes down to LA in the Western Conference Finals, I have to pick the Clippers. I mean, it's the same team.
We've seen Kawhi.
What they did basically was they kept the same team that pushed Golden State to 6 games in the first round with a healthy Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson. And they took out Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
which was huge.
He's going to turn into an excellent young player, no question about it. And Danilo Gallinari, and replace them with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. How do you bet against that?
The best offense they had was the pick and roll with Harrell and Lou Williams, right? That's how they torched them for like 3 straight games, and they have that. Plus, you had Kawhi and Paul George. I don't know. I want to see them play. Because we don't know, but I think
the Clippers, they not only have pieces that work well together, they have an identity.
Yeah,
they're going to be.
And you got Doc Rivers.
They're going to be tough defensively. Yep. You have Doc Rivers there, who's
one of
been
the best
there,
coaches
done
in
that,
the league, yeah.
And they have an identity. It's going to be tough to score on them defensively, and they just have great role players and 2 MVP candidates.
Yeah,
like they have an established identity. With the Lakers, it's LeBron and AD. You think it's going to work, but then they just have a bunch of specialists, and it's just not. You don't know.
A lot of questions.
A lot of questions there.
Outside of LeBron.
So right now, with the injury to Boogie, I would go Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers, and then after that.
You don't even want to talk about that.
We're not going to
talk about it for way too long. So that's your 3. Okay.
What about you?
I'm gonna go Clippers. So I'll just take out one team pretty much. We'll switch out. I'll go Clippers, Jazz.
Yeah, I probably put the Jazz 4. I put the Jazz at 4.
I just think that it'll come down to a head-to-head and something just I don't know what it is, but I think the Jazz will eke out a head-to-head advantage versus the Nuggets and get them to that 2 spot actually, because I think the Lakers record will be as representative as the talent.
So we got that's the NBA news.
Well, we have a little NBA thing at the end, but for now,
that's the NBA news. The schedule came out. We're going to talk about that after we hit on college football. So we're going to start by talking about Texas and Michigan State.
Yeah,
and then
for college's sake,
we'll do Big 10, Big 12. So you want to start with Michigan State?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I was on the podcast was it like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I was talking about it, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'll give a brief overview, and I stand by my assertion that I think I said they're going to go 10-2. I think I did. I said they were going to lose to Ohio State, and they might have lost to Northwestern.
Schedule for reference.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I said they were going to lose to Northwestern and Ohio State.
Okay.
I said I think I had them going 9-3 or 10-2, and I still believe that. I think I still have them beating Michigan.
Definitely see that.
I mean, it's at the big house.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously biased, but I think they can do it, and I think it won't be that big of an upset. It's going to be the game of the week. College game day will be there. The most important thing is Michigan will most likely be playing for a playoff spot, and they're going to be looking ahead. I told this. Yeah, they'll be looking ahead to Ohio State because that game's going to mean so much to Harbaugh's career, and it's not a make or break year for Harbaugh. But if he doesn't win the Ohio State game, for what? Has he beaten Ohio State? I don't think so.
No.
If he doesn't beat Ohio State again, and they have a new quarterback and a new head coach and
a lot of new
revamped
pieces.
defense, a lot of questions on that team. If he doesn't do that, they're going to be putting so much pressure on that. I still think Michigan State gets the dub. And I guess I'll update a couple things I've heard in once practice officially started, because practice started for Texas, it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then contact started, I think it was Thursday or Friday, like full pads. And Michigan State, I think, was very similar. And then I guess some reports coming out of camp. I have some Texas stuff we can talk about. But for Michigan State, I talked about how Connor Hayward was going to be the guy at running back. And that's what it looked like beforehand. But I guess a freshman by the name of Anthony Williams Jr. has come in, and he's performed really well. And he's D'Antonio was talking about him in his press conference, I believe, a couple of days ago, and he praised him. And he was saying how good he was. And a lot of players at the media day, or like after practice press conference, were really saying how this guy might be the guy. And he just has different abilities than the other running backs. He has a little more explosion. I was watching his tape a couple of minutes ago. And he has the drive, which you need in a Big Ten running back, where you're going to be running the ball a lot. He's going to be getting 25, 30 carries a game if he is that workhorse running back. And I think, let me see if I have it on my phone. Let's see. I was going to look for.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to give you the rundown on UT.
Yeah.
It's Tom Herman's third year at UT. I think they're ready to make a push for the playoff. I have them going 11-1. I think 12 games. Yeah.
LSU, Oklahoma.
I have them. Okay, here's what I had. I had them beating LSU, losing to OU, but I have them beating OU eventually.
Reverse of last year. I agree.
In the
I
Big
can
12
totally see
championship.
that. Yeah. Before you move on completely to that, so I can be with you, I'm going to say like my one thing about Michigan State. So they had the receiver I was looking for was Darryl Scott Jr. as well as Cody White, and I think Lewerke's going to have that rebound year that a lot of people thought he's going to have the year that everyone thought he was going to have last year before he kind of lost some confidence, and it's not his fault. Michigan State was plagued with injuries. Everyone knows that defense is going to be great this year. So I think they're going to be a 9-3, 10-2 team. And my Big Ten top three is going to go Ohio State 1, Michigan State 2, because I have them. I'm going to have Michigan 2, and then Michigan State 3, because they're going to beat Michigan, but they're going to lose to, I think I said, Ohio State and Northwestern or Wisconsin. I think so. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I have.
So Tom Herman's third year. I think they're ready to become a playoff contender. The guy on the front cover, Sam Ehlinger, he's the biggest part of this, obviously. His development has been key. 2 straight top 5 recruiting classes.
And
has helped.
Yeah.
Everyone
was worried about this year's, especially because Texas is loaded up on talent the past 2 years. And Texas is different in a lot of teams when they recruit. In terms of how they strategize their recruiting, teams like Alabama, they offer a lot of scholarships, but not all of them are committable. So they just want their hands on a prospect. But Texas, they only hand out offers to guys they really want.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hurting them, especially this year. But they started offering more guys, and they've loaded up in the past month on 2021 guys a lot. It's Billy Bowman, I believe Hayden Connor, Jalen Milroe, he started that with his commitment early July, I think. And then a lot of guys, just to name a couple. But in 2020, we've recently seen an uptick in the recruiting. Everyone, I think it was kind of funny. One of the A&M beat writers for some station or like article or how do you call it, like a fan site. He said he put out some piece talking about how Herman was getting out recruited by Jimbo and he was making laps around him, and it did look like that way for like maybe a day when they had when they landed Haynes King and they had who's their other one of their other 5 stars, Demon Damas, I believe is his name. But then in the past 2 months, Herman turned on the green light, and you got a lot of commitments.
Yeah, I was reading something.
Let me look it up.
It was like mid-June, like next year's recruiting class. It was like, I don't know, in the 20s.
Yeah.
But now it's mid-August, and in 2 months, they're all the way up to 6. Yeah.
So in the past, crazy. Yeah, they got commitments.
Bijan
Robinson was a big commit. He was possibly going to go Ohio State, but then I think it was family reasons. Plus, I think he sees himself in the depth chart at UT because it's so open. And then Texas has had an unfortunate past first week in terms of injuries because a lot of their players get injured.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them major, but guys like Caden Stearns, Zach Shackelford, I believe Keontae Ingram have all had injuries. And then I'll go back to recruiting just for a second. So in the past like 2 months. So since I believe that piece about how bad Texas was compared to A&M came out in early June, and since then there have been commits from this offensive tackle named Onrich Kyrich. He's a big commit. You got the guy from Utah, which is I saw his tape and I loved it, and he has a great motor, Van Fillinger. Then you got Princely Uman Mielen, who was 2 days ago, August 12th. He's a DN. You got Jaron Thompson. You got Ethan Pouncey, brother of a current wide receiver on the Texas roster, Jordan Pouncey. You got Prince Dorba. You got Vernon Broughton, which was a huge commit, top 100 guy, defensive end. A big recruiting win in Houston because Texas has historically run Houston in recruiting, but A&M kind of took a hold this year. So that head-to-head win for Broughton, as well as the head-to-head win with Uman Mielen, was big because everyone was kind of getting on how Texas really needs D linemen. And then, you got Bijan and you got Jaquindon Jackson. So they really came on. According to 24/7, which is in my opinion, the better ranking because they have the composite ranking that is more trusted than, say, Rivals or a Scout when they did stuff, or definitely ESPN. I don't like ESPN's rankings. They're the first in the Big 12. Their average rating is a .9308, which is very good, and national ranking at 6, which is huge because everyone thought this was going to be a smaller class. And I think in the past couple of days they've gotten crystal balls, which is the 24/7 way of recruiting analysts saying they have a prediction. They've been predicted to land a guy that A&M thought they had, which was a DB named Xavier Alford. And then you got guys like Quentin Johnson, and then who's it? Ty Jordan, running back. And then I'm trying to name, there's like 1 or 2 more guys that I think that have been, that UT still has a really good chance of. So it'll be interesting to see, and I think they've really answered a lot of questions.
I'm gonna hit on the rundown just to give you all reminders, and then I'm gonna hit on this year's recruiting class. So I want to talk about some things. But anyway, I was talking about Ellinger, big step in his development last year. Only threw 5 picks, 41 touchdowns, 25 passing, and 16 rushing. I'm hoping he's a little bit more conscious of when he takes off and how he takes hits, because we definitely need him to be healthy the entire season. But we'll see how that works out.
With him, I think it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he's going to get hurt. And when I believe the backup is Casey Thompson, who's won the job during camp, how he's going to fare. Yeah. From what I've heard, he's going to do. He's adjusted very well, and he's similar to Ellinger. He's a little smaller than Ellinger, but he's another dual threat guy that can offer you a bunch of ways to attack. And I think he's looking a lot more comfortable. He's from, I believe, he's from like near Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Yeah, and he's been looking good.
At receiver, you have little Jordan Humphrey left, had a touchdown in the preseason game for the Saints.
He's just doing his own thing.
Doing his own thing. That was a big loss, but we still have Colin Johnson,
one of the best receivers.
Who's returning for his senior year. Caught 68 balls for 985, 6'6", 220.
That USC game, but the past 2 years really, even though Sam's freshman year they lost, that was still a great game though. When Sam, that's when everyone knew that Sam was the guy. When he came out there versus USC 2 years ago, they still lost the game, but he had that the go ahead touchdown drive from like the 4, and he had that pass to Armani Foreman. That's when everyone knew he was going to be special, and he was going straight to Colin Johnson, and I think that's going to continue for a third year.
68 catches, 985 yards, 6'6", 220.
Just moss guys.
Always getting stronger. He's a matchup nightmare for opposing corners, especially in the Big 12, where they don't really.
They price speed over height a lot.
Yeah. Good offensive line, good to great offensive line, led by Zach Shackelford, who's banged up right now, but I think
he should be ready for the opener versus La Tech
season. They have a transfer. I'm not sure what the latest.
So from what I've heard,
Parker Braun.
Parker Braun. From the initial prospects of him were that he was going to come in and be the best person on the offensive line, maybe besides Samuel Cosme, the left tackle, who's been basically good if not better than Connor Williams was, which is a lot because he's like second round pick, I believe, went to the Cowboys. He's doing good now. But Samuel Cosme's been great, and he was for the transfer. Braun was supposed to be as good as him, and I think he's just adjusting to the team. And then he was watching practice a little, and I think he's full in pads now. So I think it's just
he's going to play.
Yeah,
he's going to play this year.
Yeah,
that's great. That's good to hear.
He'll be in. And I think he's just adjusting to the
because I read somewhere that he was thinking about taking a redshirt year.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah,
and he's finishing up a degree at McCombs. McCombs business. He's getting his MBA.
Not a bad thing to do.
And he wanted to, maybe work on his strength and work on his pass blocking. I read that somewhere, but it's good to hear that he's going to play.
I don't know if he'll play. I read that same concern. I just didn't know if that was a real thing.
We'll see what happens, but just bottom line is the offensive line is going to be pretty good.
For I believe last year was the first year in Texas football since like 2009 that the O-line was a plus, not a negative. And I think it'll continue to be that way, and that's all you need.
And we can't talk about the offense without talking about Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, you got Colin Johnson and Duvernay. I think he got moved inside to a slot position this year, and he's been doing great. Speedster. If Ellinger didn't miss him on like 1 or 2 passes, he would have had 2 more touchdowns. But I'm mainly thinking Iowa State. I think I saw him, and then versus Maryland, he had 1 big one. And then he almost had another, but that's just you can't blame Sam for that or Devin.
We'll move to the defense. We're going to talk about the running backs when we talk about this year's recruiting class. But the defense last year, 3rd in the Big 12 in yards per play, but only 3 starters returned.
They came up big. Yeah.
But 2 of those are in the secondary.
Brandon Jones and Stearns.
So that should help their secondary.
I think at this point, the UT defense is reloading instead of rebuilding. They have the talent at all positions. It's just a matter of when these guys are going to flip the switch.
When they're going to make an impact.
Yeah.
When will the young talent make an impact?
I heard Keandre Coburn is separating himself on the D-line, and Moro or Ojormo, who just turned 18, I believe, and he's the same age as us, but he's going to be making an impact. And you have guys like Taquan Graham, another D lineman, and then Jeffrey McCulloch, who's been kind of in the waiting arms for a while. And you got Ayodele Adeoye, the other linebacker, that should be doing great. And I think the defense will be good. The defense will be fine. More than serviceable. I'm not going to say amazing, but they'll be good.
Last year, safety Caden Stearns became the first Texas true freshman defensive back in over a decade to start first 13 games of his career.
You got I think it was since like Michael Huff or something like that.
Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year honors during a season in which he supplied a number of memorable moments.
Yeah.
Including a blocked field goal against USC and a key interception against Tulsa. Yeah. He's
So not just him, but that recruiting class, you had Caden Stearns, you had B.J. Foster, you had Jalen Green, you had Anthony Cook, and you had Deshaun Jameson. That's insane.
Defensive back university.
Do you?
I'm just looking at this. Sports Illustrated has the over/under set at 9.5. It says aside from the clashes with LSU and OU, the Longhorns should be favored in every game. They're taking the over, and they have them at a predicted 10-2.
I'm not arguing with that. I still say they're 11-1, but I'm not arguing with that.
5-year trend. It's been more than a decade since Texas has won 10 games in back-to-back seasons. So we'll hit on the recruiting. That's kind of the rundown. We hit on it at episode 29, I think it was. So if you want to go watch that, you can. But we'll hit on the recruiting. 25 new signees this year. Number 3 ranking in the nation, according to 24/7. They did have Darian Brown's stroke.
Everyone just hopes he's doing okay.
Mm-hmm. And DeGabriel Floyd, an impact linebacker, has spinal stenosis, and he's going to miss the year.
And you're Brew McCoy transferring out. So it may not have been the number 3
not
class,
as good as it was advertised,
still amazing.
But still really good. It's interesting because 14 out of the 25 signees are out of state, which is huge. Which is interesting to me.
I think Kenyatta
it's the highest percentage of out-of-state recruits in a recruiting class in school history.
That's wild. I think Herman set his mind to it. And then you got guys like there's going to be 2 instant impact guys. I heard Kenyatta Watson, a safety or a kind of DB out of Georgia, that powerhouse Loganville, or Grayson, sorry. And then you got Jake Smith, I believe Gatorade National Player of the Year from Arizona. Both of those guys, I believe, are going to get immediate minutes, on top of Jordan Whittington, who, depending on how Keontae Ingram heals, may be the starting running back, which would be wild.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Whittington. 6'1", 210, Cuero, Texas, 5-star running back.
Stud.
Or receiver turned running back.
I think he had 6 touchdowns in the state championship.
I was about to mention that.
Yeah.
He led Cuero to the 4A state title with one of the greatest championship game performances in state history.
I was watching that.
6 touchdowns. And he played defense, I think?
I think he had a pick, and one of his he had another touchdown that was called back.
It's a one-man wrecking crew. Yeah. He has elite quickness, wide receiver level skills, turned running back. Could probably play 4 different positions. Coming into college, but we'll see where Texas works him in terms of like their offense. He'll start as a running back, but we'll just have to see. He excels with the ball in his hands, ball in space, so I'm really excited to watch him. Jake Smith, I think Tom Herman said he's the fastest.
Yeah.
One of the fastest players he's ever seen with the ball in his hands.
I think he averaged like 4 or 5 touchdowns a game in his senior season.
Senior season.
Like first 6 games.
He had 1,070 receiving yards, 741 yards rushing, and 39 total touchdowns.
That's insane. And they kind of rested him, I think.
He also played on defense, notching 4.5 sacks and 20 tackles, and served and played punter.
Yeah.
Skills. Obviously, he won't do all that for the Longhorns, but I'm hoping he'll get decent amount of playing time.
For sure.
With Duvernay and Johnson.
They have all the pieces. They have a lot of pieces to work with, and it's just going to be a matter of how they use them. I think they're going to be great. I think they definitely have the talent to compete for a playoff spot. They're finally at the I think the only question was the D-line, but from what I'm hearing, they're progressing very nicely. So they're at the point to where we may have an elite team in Texas. So,
Tyler Johnson, an offensive lineman.
Yeah. I don't know where he's from. It's from Texas.
Conroe, Texas, yeah. Big recruit.
Yeah. Borderline 5-star.
He committed to Texas early summer last year.
Yeah.
Over Alabama, Georgia, and OU. Held firm in his commitment. Immediately went to work. he's got good combination of size, speed, effort. I like him. Hopefully,
at this point,
he'll contribute.
At this point,
sometime
Texas
soon.
is not looking for guys that need to start originally, which has not been the
Yeah,
same thing that they've had for the past 6 years. So it's finally to the point where they can build depth, which is what a championship team needs.
he's on a very good development trajectory. And then Marcus Washington.
What is it? St. Louis? Yeah.
St. Louis, yeah, 4-star receiver. He'll be another big piece.
And it's like he could be great, but there's so many other guys that are also great on.
It says he won Offensive MVP award at the Under Armour All-Star game, recording 7 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning touchdown.
Wow. And that's not versus some
strong hands, excellent body control, knack for creating space. I don't think he's a burner, but his 40 wasn't very. It says 4.79.
They have.
Yeah, but they don't really.
He's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
In terms of he'll be out playing on the outside.
Mm-hmm. A tight end, Braden Liebrock.
Yeah, Arizona. I think we got 2 and 3 from Arizona, and then OU got 1. But Spencer Rattler, I believe his name was.
65 catches, 780 yards, 11 touchdowns as a senior. Elite hands. He's looking to add, I think, some muscle, 20 to 25 pounds, but that'll be exciting. I think we have Cade Brewer.
I think he got hurt.
Oh, really?
I don't know how serious it is, but I think he got hurt. But there's so many dudes. There's like Reese Lato, and then you have Braden, and I don't know what the depth is looking like completely. What do you think the team overall is? What's your top 3 in the Big 12, and then who wins?
Well, I have UT. Maybe I'm biased.
Well, you already said
UT,
but like
OU, and then the third team. Oof.
You could go Iowa State, Baylor, maybe even West Virginia with Austin Kendall, or
I'm going Iowa State.
Yeah, I agree.
I like their coach.
I
like their coaching
staff.
Matt
Campbell. I remember you watched it at my house last year when UT got the dub. Yeah, that's what I say. UT, OU, Iowa State. It'll go down to the championship game again. I mean, as it should, as it is supposed to. And then I think at that point UT will be playing for a playoff spot. And do you think they get in?
Well, we had this conversation.
4 or 5. Yeah, I say 4 or
5. I think it depends because we know Alabama and Clemson are locks.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what Georgia does.
It's all about Georgia,
Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Those teams. I think. I mean, if Texas sweeps OU and they go undefeated, I think they definitely get in.
Even with one loss to some other team.
Even with a loss like LSU or something. But, we'll have to see. It's too early to really say.
We'll go to the first game before we say anything. That's in 16 days.
Yeah.
Michigan State opens on a Friday. They play on the 30th, I believe. They play Tulsa or Tulane.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll be there.
Is it a home game?
Yep. So I think I'll be there. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. You got anything else?
We're gonna do 30 minutes, so we're good. We're gonna talk some about the Spurs.
Sure. Yeah.
Schedule. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I can pull it up as well.
I believe we open at home against the Knicks, so we got a good break there. So we open with 3 home games: the Knicks, the Wizards, and the Trailblazers.
Should be 2-1.
Should be 2-1
or 3-0.
And then on the road to face Kawhi and the Clippers.
Oh, then there's that's a tough stretch.
Clippers, it's the West Coast. Clippers, Warriors. We have another early season meeting with the Lakers. Like last year, we had 2 or 3 meetings with the Lakers, and we were done with the season series by like the All-Star break.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we beat them 3 times, but now they have Anthony Davis. I was looking at the rodeo road trip. This is what I really wanted to talk about because we got another brutal rodeo road trip.
That was horrible this year for us.
I'm
that was atrocious for the Spurs this year. or this past.
Yeah, I
season.
think we were like 1-7 or something, or 2-6.
Oh yeah, it's that same stretch of West Coast teams plus the Nuggets, plus the Jazz. Okay, so here it is. You got the first game was the Clippers. We lose that one. Second game, the Lakers. I'm gonna say we're gonna go 1-1 of those. Blazers lose that one. Kings win that one. Nuggets lose that one. Oh, and then you have the Thunder for the first time. Oh,
That should be a win, but
yeah. And then we play the Thunder again later in the road trip, I believe. Yeah. And the Jazz, I said it's a loss. But then we'll sweep the Thunder, and I think we'll beat the Kings. But all the others are toss-ups to losses.
Yeah.
So then you got the Mavs, Magic. Okay, so we have a wind down after that.
So the biggest question is, can we be better on the road? Because we're always good at home.
Yeah.
But we need to be better on the road. There were a couple games last year where if we had beaten who did we lose to? The Knicks.
We lost to everybody. We lost to the Knicks, I believe, twice. I think, which is horrible. I think we did.
If we didn't lose the Knicks and
didn't
the Grizzlies.
We lose? We lost Christmas Day to someone, right? Christmas Day. I'll look it up, but I think we did. We lost to a lot of teams.
A couple bad losses. Yeah. If we beat some of those teams, we'd probably win 50 games. And
didn't we win 50 games last year?
48.
Oh yeah.
We had the tiebreaker over the Clippers, which is why we had the 7th seed, and they had the same record, but we had the tiebreaker somehow.
We didn't plan Christmas. But
so overall, just a brutal rodeo road trip. Need to be better on the road. I watched another video. DeJounte posted on his Instagram.
Everyone's excited about him. I am too.
I watched another video. I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, Derek White playing right now with Team USA. I think he's doing well. Coach Pop is there.
Yeah.
Coaching.
A little biased, but I'm fine with that.
This season, the bench will look a little different because we'll have
DeMarcus,
Will Hardy, and Tim Duncan sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
At
coaching
games.
Staff, yeah.
Starting lineup, what do you think it will be? Or what would you prefer it to be? Two different.
That's very different. Yeah, I want it to be Dejounte Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay, LaMarcus Aldridge, and who were we talking about at the center? Were we saying anything? I don't want to play center. Okay, if we're going preferred, I'd go.
Go small.
Yeah, if I want to go small, I'd go Dejounte Murray, and then I'd put Derek White.
Yeah, that's all.
And then DeMar, and then LaMarcus, or Rudy, then LaMarcus.
I think LaMarcus is going to be playing a lot of the 5.
Lonnie Walker's going to get some minutes. He showed out in the summer league. It's the summer league, so whatever. Kyle Anderson destroyed the summer league, and he's in Memphis. He's a starter, but you know what I mean. So I don't know. It shows he's a quality player, and he's going to be good this year. Do you think the rookies are going to have any playing time?
It's hard to say. I think.
Do you think Witherspoon gets a roster spot? The second round pick?
I love Patty Mills.
Oh, yeah.
But he's kind of that one guy now.
Yeah.
He's not Pal. Let's not compare him to Pal.
No.
He's not that bad.
He has nowhere near that level of hatred from me. He's a great veteran.
He's still he might, if it gets to a point where he's taking away minutes from Lonnie Walker and maybe Keldon Johnson. I think he could see some playing time. I think he'll be back and forth between Austin and San Antonio.
Johnson?
Yeah, he'll get an occasional call.
He'll do what Lonnie Walker did last year.
Depending on how Rudy Gay is in terms of health. And I think Damari Carroll's a good piece.
Oh, wow. So DeMarcus Cousins was officially just diagnosed with the torn ACL.
Aren't you happy the Spurs didn't sign him? No?
I wanted him.
Yeah.
But who knows what would have happened, so you can't speculate on that. I don't know. Just hope he's doing all right. Hope he recovers.
I think it's funny because we opened with the Knicks. So either way, Marcus Morris was meant to open the season at the AT&T Center.
Yep. Oh, gosh. That was a nightmare. Who did we sign? Trey Lyles. That's fine. Doesn't matter to me. he's probably gonna fit the system. He's probably gonna do good.
I mean,
Rooting for him.
97% of the time, 98% of the time, aside from Powell, the Spurs don't waste money.
Exactly.
I mean,
aside from Powell.
if they didn't want Trey Lyles, they would not have signed
Exactly.
Trey Lyles.
And if
the development staff didn't see something in him, then they would not.
Yeah, I'm glad we have the ability to trust our front office.
And not only our front office, but it's our
the whole staff, really up and down.
It's the player development.
Yeah.
Like, we have the best player development in the league. Like, who would have ever thought Derek White goes out in a playoff game and scores 36 points and basically wins us the game?
He kept us in the series, really. Yeah. Wild, man. Do you think they make the playoffs this year? Do you want to end with that?
I do, because I'm not being biased. I think it's the same team plus DeJounte Murray. Why not?
And
Derek White has another year of experience.
With another year to get to. Yeah, he can get that.
And I think DeMar is going to come in motivated.
He's settled in. He's motivated, I think.
I think they've talked about extending his contract.
Because when I had those questions about trading him, I wanted to trade him. But to be honest, he's settling in. He's hungry. He wants a couple wins. I think he's finally ready to start playing for San Antonio and not against Toronto.
The points were not great. Like, he's DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
You expect more than 21 points. But he had 6 assists and 6 rebounds.
He improved a lot. Like,
he contributed in other ways.
We complained, but can't deny.
Sure, he'll have games where he doesn't. I mean, he misses shots.
But every single player in the NBA.
But every single player in the NBA does that.
And there's a lot of things that he does that no one else can.
It's just, DeMar DeRozan would be a top 10 player in the league if he could shoot a 3. He can't shoot a 3. He would be, maybe not top 10, but he'd be top 12, top 15.
Yeah. That's just not his game. It's
just not his game. But if he can get to like 25, 30%, that's all I'm asking. Like, be a threat.
One out of every 3.
At least be a threat.
Make him guard you.
Yeah.
Well, I think they make the playoffs too. I say 7 or 8. I have them. The thing is, they'd be able to challenge anyone they play in the playoffs again.
I do think so. Yeah.
It would not be a sweep. I think it wouldn't even be a gentleman's sweep. They're going to win 2 games in every playoff series they go into. So that's just the AT&T Center, Pop, and the players that they have. They'll win 2 games in every playoff series they get.
I think it's it's just 48. If you get 46, 48 wins is not a bad thing in the West.
That'll be like 4th in the West. That'll be 4th or 5th.
That's really good.
This upcoming year, the West is going to be won with like 50 wins, 54, because so many teams will have like 30. They were from the 38 to 50 range. It'll be like half the West will be 38 to 50.
Mm-hmm. Anything else we want to mention?
I don't have anything.
Before we go off, let's just, for the sake of time, we kind of set out the West, where we kind of talked about top of the West. Let's talk about the top of the East. So we kind of did 1, 2, 3, 4 in the West. So let's do that with the East. What do you think? How do you see that? I mean, I know it's still early, but
I go Milwaukee, Philly, Boston, Toronto.
Okay.
With Milwaukee winning it.
Okay.
Giannis is getting the finals this year.
Okay. Yeah, I would. I think I would have to agree with that. Milwaukee did lose Malcolm Brogdon, but I think Giannis is going to somehow be even better this season.
Yep.
I think Eric Bledsoe's a great piece. He fits well. Chris Middleton, obviously.
They re-signed Brook Lopez,
does.
Somehow that did good.
Re-signed Brook Lopez, who had some great games in the playoffs.
The playoffs for sure versus Toronto, even though they lost the series. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And now that Giannis doesn't have to face Kawhi in the playoffs, it'll be okay.
Yep.
I think Philly, they got
rid of Jimmy.
They got rid of Jimmy, but I don't think.
Addition by subtraction. It's good for both guys. It's better for Jimmy and it's better for the Sixers.
Addition by subtraction, I think.
Yep.
Who they get? Al Horford. They pair him with Joel Embiid. It'll be interesting to see if they play them together
Yeah, 4
or
or
if they
5.
stagger their minutes.
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, obviously. Hopefully, he has some resemblance of a jump shot. I know we've been hoping that since he
His whole
came into
career,
the league, but
from LSU, yeah.
hopefully he can make at least, you know what I mean.
Be serviceable.
Boston's interesting. I think Kemba's definitely a better fit than Kyrie in that system with Brad Stevens.
He'll play better.
He's more of a team guy.
Yeah, with that team.
Obviously, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are still on the uprise. Yep.
Yeah.
Rozier left.
For Charlotte.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money on it. Good deal for him.
Good deal for him. But they still have a good bench.
Yep. As always, with the Brad Stevens team.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll be a tough out in the playoffs. And then Toronto. Lowry.
Who knows what to expect from him?
Who knows what Pascal Siakam's
That's
still
the big
turning
question.
into.
He was insane in the playoffs.
They did lose Danny Green, but they have guys. Norman Powell.
Yeah. Van Vliet
was big in the playoffs.
Which was basically a better Danny Green. Shorter, but he was better. He made threes.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Green played great, but Van Vliet was the X factor.
Yeah.
Besides the best player in the game, Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of anyone else I'm forgetting in the East.
So, have you already done your finals prediction?
No.
Do you want it?
I mean, we can, but it will change.
Okay.
I think
as of now, as of 8:15 at 4:09 p.m. or August 15th, 2019.
I would go Clippers and Bucks.
I agree. Who do you have winning? I say the Clippers.
I say the Clippers, just because
there's two superstars as well.
Giannis not deal with Kawhi, but he has to deal with Paul George too.
Yep. And then when you got that second team come on, they'll destroy their bench.
And not only that, he has to deal with Montrezl Harrell and Patrick Beverley, who really bothered Kevin Durant last year in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I
just think it's too much. I think Milwaukee will definitely compete.
And I think they'll win it the next
year. 6 or 7 game series.
Yeah, they'll win 2020 for me.
But that's that.
That's all.
So that's gonna do it.
Thanks.
Episode, kind of an extension of episode 29. With some a little NBA talk, but we call it episode 31. Mason VORE, Michael Ween. It's been lit. Raw Prospect. Signing off. Peace.
Boom.
And end it.
Cool.